everyone. In this video, I'm going to show you about multidimensional arrays. Alright? So, let's get started. It sounds pretty cool, multidimensional, whatever, blah blah blah, but this is this is where C++, gets very interesting and we start being able to do some really cool stuff, alright? So, in the last lesson, we learned about arrays, just normal ones, right? What is an array? It's a sequence of, it's like, it can be an integer, it can be a float, but it's just a group of them, a group of numbers, a group of characters put together, and it's nice and organized, alright? But we're going to learn about multi-dimensional arrays, alright? And I'll give you a really good example on how to use them, an example on how they can be used, alright? Let's get started. So we're going to make an array of string, okay? What is a string? A string is a group of characters like James, if it's surrounded by quotation marks, okay? And we're going to name this, for example, test scores. Similar to last lecture, we used tests, okay? And what's the difference? This is an array, right? Blah, blah, blah. But we're going to declare another one of these brackets. See? This indicates a two-dimensional array. I will put up an image on pretty much how it looks. It looks a lot more complicated in coding, but this is pretty much how it looks like and functions. Alright, and so we're gonna have, this is gonna be pretty much our X value. If you're gonna think about this like a graph, but yeah, so for test scores, let's just put 5, okay? And for this we'll put 2. Okay, I'll show you everything just in a second. And so this is just one array, right? This bracket, curly braces, but we need 5 of them, right? Because we wrote 5. Let's do okay, and we're gonna separate it by commas, very important. And to make it really efficient, let's even do something like this, alright? Okay, looks a lot better, right? And in between the curly braces, we're gonna have another comma, because we need 2. So we have 5 curly braces, right? And we're gonna have 2 items inside each of those 5 curly braces. So that's what's happening. So we're gonna have a name, for example, like Bob, and his test score. Let's do 67%. He got 67. He failed the class. Boohoo. Okay. Let's add another one. Let's say Christina. And she got, let's say she got pretty good. She got 99% in the class, okay? And also let's put a /n at the end of it, alright? What does /n do? You should know by now. It creates a new line. It will separate. Alright. Pretty cool. Let's do what's another, wait, Christiniana, whoops, Christina, there we go. Let's do Emily. And we're gonna do how much? She got 23%. She just didn't care. What's another name? James, let's use my name, James. James always gets 100%. And one more, right? What happened here? Whose name is this gonna be? This will be Zoe. Okay. And she got what? Say she also got pretty good grades. She got a 84. Alright. Pretty awesome. So this is our array. If we run the code, nothing's gonna happen. The compiler just stored all this information. It's put together Bob and the percentage, Christina and her grade, Emily her grade, it pretty much just puts them all together and separates them, right? So Bob is different from Christina, from Emily, from James, from everybody, right? Now we're going to use something we learned before called a loop, right? For loop. And we're going to have an integer, right? Let's use int I equals 0. I is less than 5, because we have 5 items in our array. I plus plus. Okay. Now we're going to write another loop within this loop. And this is perfectly possible. And especially for two-dimensional arrays, this will be very important. We'll need something like this. Instead of using I, we're already using this. We're going to use j. I is less than 2. And j plus plus. We should j. Okay. Now what's going to happen? How does a two-dimensional array work? Well, I believe we have went over it, but it doesn't hurt to go over it again. This is going to run 5 times, okay? You should know that pretty well, because there's a 5 right there, 0. Okay, this line of code, whatever is in between these two curly braces is going to run it 5 times. So that means it's going to run this line of code 5 times. But this line of code runs whatever is in here 2 times. So 5 times 2 is 10. It's going to run the code here 10 times. Right, that sounds very, complicated, very difficult, but when I show you, it's going to be a lot better. For example, let's do cout j, right? It's only going to do j, and it's going to, what's the output going to be? I suggest you pause the video and see if you can guess what j is going to equal. Alright, but what is it going to equal? Oh, it's going to be 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 5 times, okay? Because it's surrounded. Go ahead, click run. As you can see, we've got 0, 1, 0, 1, 5 times, okay? Now, let's actually, let's just add a space in between it, just to make it easier to understand. See? 0, 1, 0, 1. Okay. But, how can we implement these two loops to print out this entire array we have going on? Well, we can use the variable test scores, right? This entire array we have is under the name test scores, right? And we use these numbers to figure it out. So test scores, let's do this. Now, let's use I and j. Okay. So what does I determine? I, this, code right here, is going to run 5 times. This I determines, okay, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's how it's going to read, right? J is going to run 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. That's what's going to happen. And, let me just click run. Let me show you. You can see it looks pretty nice. Whoops, it appears I forgot a /n. And for Zoe, I forgot there we go. See, Bob 67%, Christina 99, Emily 23. Pretty cool, huh? And that's what's so awesome about multi-dimensional arrays. They're able to store, make it, we can have more complicated databases, right? And yeah, it's pretty cool. Let's go ahead and comment our code to make sure we understand what it does. Alright, all this code does, this line right here, it just displays all the values here, right? So display the values of, display the student's name and the score. Alright, what does this loop do? Well, it runs it twice, right? It runs once for the name and once for the percentage. Once here, once here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Alright? So, used for displaying the name and the score. Alright, similar to, okay. Now, what does this block do? It does something a little different. Used for displaying the for deciding what's a, well, okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 for displaying the row, I guess. This I, the value of I, it pretty much determines 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, what row are we talking about? Alright, and that's pretty cool. That's how it works. The best part, you can just change whatever you want. Like, let's say James got flunked and just got a 0%. Update it. And updates here. And that's how you can use multi-dimensional arrays. You can even make 3-dimensional arrays, which is really complicated, really adds some complexity. You can even have 4-dimensional, okay? But this is really ridiculous. I highly suggest not using it. I mean, this is nuts. Okay, you need to really be knowing what you're doing, but I just want to thank you guys for watching. Please have a nice day. Hope you learned something. If you don't understand anything, you can always email me, message me, and yeah.